Wargames need terrain, and in this video we'll have a look at Gale Force 9's modern roads for Team Yankee. We'll also have a quick look at some direct fire smoke markers I ordered as well. This is BB188, the modern roads box for Team Yankee. It contains 6 pieces of pre-painted road scenery for Wargames in 10 to 15mm. In total, that's 72 inches or 180 centimetres worth of roads. In the box you get 4 straight sections of road, each 12 inches or 30 centimetres long. You also get 2 curves, also 12 inches long. These are gentle curves, not corners. These roads are made from a flexible resin material. This flexibility means it can be conformed to some variations in the table surface like hills. So the modern roads represent tarmac roads, painted a very dark black grey and with white edge and centre markings. These are meant to represent standard urban roads in the 1980s in Europe. The only other roads I have to compare these with are these Gale Force 9 Cobblestone roads for Flames of War. This sort of road was common enough in World War II, but much less so in the 80s. They're made of similar materials. I would love to have some of Gale Force 9's BB117 rural roads to represent dirt roads, but I've never seen any on sale when I've been looking for terrain. The companion to the Modern Roads box is BB189 Modern Roads Expansion. This gives some useful variations for the Modern Roads set. It has 2 6-inch or 15cm road sections, 2 8-inch or 20cm curved sections, 2 6-inch T-sections and a 6-inch crossroads. These smaller sections give you a lot more flexibility in layout, and they're the next thing on my terrain buying list when I get some spare cash. Here's an example of these in use in an image from the Gale Force 9 website. You can see the combination of the Modern Roads box and the expansion gives you a lot of options. The other linked expansion is BB227 Carparks for Team Yankee. This contains 3 resin sections of car park and 3 ticket vending machines. Handy for making some European urban sprawl in built-up areas. Again, you don't see many of these around. So that's the Modern Roads box set for Team Yankee. The other product I bought the other day was AT009 smoke markers. I did want some AT006 smoke bombardment markers, but haven't been able to get hold of any. When I stumbled across these smoke markers lurking in the Aetherworks online store, I added one to my order. What you get in this direct-only product is a plastic bag with 6 parts that make 2 smoke markers. These are meant to represent direct fire smoke fired directly at an enemy unit to blind them. The parts are quite thick printed white acrylic. There are 2 base pieces with slots for each to accept 2 of these smoke pieces. Here's an assembled set. So direct fire smoke is meant to blind your opponent and make it harder for them to hit your units. The rules for direct fire smoke are on page 65 of the Flames of War version 4 rulebook. Not all units can fire smoke. There will be a smoke special rule noted in weapons that can fire smoke. This is different from a smoke bombardment fired by an artillery unit, which is covered separately. Some artillery units can fire both direct fire smoke or a bombardment. The unit card will let you know. A unit that has the smoke special rule can elect to fire smoke instead of making an attack during their shooting step. Each hit from a team firing smoke places a 2-inch or 5cm ball of smoke, represented by these markers. The rules say teams shooting into, through or out of a smoke ball always suffer an additional +1 penalty on the score needed to hit, both for shooting and bombardments. Note that this penalty goes both ways. Shooting at an enemy unit you've obscured with smoke also suffers the +1 to hit penalty. To avoid this, you can do any direct fire with your attacking units first, then any teams with smoke ammunition who haven't yet fired in the shooting step can fire to blind the enemy for their next shooting step. Just don't miss if you're relying on smoke to avoid enemy fire in the next shooting step. Firing smoke like this can also be a useful way to get units to move. If you smoke them, they can choose to move in their movement step to avoid the +1 penalty, but this forces them to use their moving rate of fire instead. This can be a useful tactic to minimise the impact of heavy German tanks in Flames of War. Forcing these units to use a lower rate of fire on the move usually halves their effectiveness. Less incoming shots means less potential hits. The Team Yankee rules are similar, except that units with thermal imaging do not suffer the penalty. This makes direct fire smoke even more effective if you have thermal imaging and your opponent doesn't. I hope looking at the modern roads and smoke markers was useful for you. These products are not as exciting as shiny new tanks or AFV kits, but they are worth having a look at. They aren't new products, but I just bought them, and I plan to get the Modern Roads expansion when funds allow. If you have these or have used these products, maybe share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.